Hi, I'm Brandon LaBeouf, owner of the St. Bernard Indoor Shooting Center in Arabi, Louisiana, NOLATAC Training Center, our new outdoor range on the west bank of New Orleans in Avondale, as well as NOLATAC Training Consulting, where we do most of our law enforcement, military, and concealed handgun permit type training. In this installment of our Louisiana Concealed Handgun Permit Instructor Development Series, I want to talk about the role that Louisiana State Police, LSP, plays in the concealed handgun permit process. LSP is the entity that regulates, that administers the state concealed handgun permit process for Louisiana. They're the ones that, through legislation, have the authority to establish the permitting process, manage it, execute it, and then within some parameters make administrative changes. Some changes to the law obviously have to go through legislation to be changed, but there is some latitude given to LSP to change certain administrative aspects of it. As instructors, we kind of, for lack of a better term, fall under LSP. They are the ones that certify us to teach the Louisiana CHP course. In order to teach that course, you have to be a Louisiana State Police certified instructor, meaning you've sent them the proper credentials, you've done all the paperwork you need to do with them, and they say, okay, you're good, you can teach, and this is what you can teach. What we often see, particularly in our Facebook group and in conversations with other instructors at our meet and greets, at our instructor development courses, is a lot of people want to always defer to LSP as if they're the authority on what's going to happen. And that's simply not the case. That's not the role that they play. Now, in some ways they are. The application process, yes, they are the ones that determine how that's going to go down. They obviously have the most timely information on it. But when it comes to reading elements of the law, they're hands off. They are never going to tell you it's illegal to do this or it's legal to do that. Okay. Also understanding that the way that office is structured, you have a state police trooper, a sergeant that runs that division. Then you typically have, I think right now they might be up to 5 or 6 ladies that process the applications. Also keep in mind, concealed handgun permits are only a small part of what they do. They have about, I don't know, last time I looked it was probably like 10 or 20 other functions that falls under that office. For example, anytime a police officer's commissioned, a state police officer, now that could be a trooper, Capitol Police, Harbor Police, University Police, they handle the IDs and all the process to get this person legally a police officer. Anytime a police officer searches for someone's name on the state computer that they're not supposed to, that investigation is all handled by Louisiana State Police, that particular office, the CHP office. Well, we call them the CHP office, but there's lots of other things that fall under it. When you call up there, 99 times out of 100, you're going to get one of the ladies that are answering the phone. And while they are extremely knowledgeable, because they're the ones that do this every day, their scope of knowledge is not any more than yours. Okay. Yes, they understand the application process because they're the ones processing them, but they don't know any more about the law, and they're no more an authority. If you do something based on what they said, you can't go, well, wait, the lady at CHP told me that has no weight. Okay. Likewise, even the sergeant, that's whoever's running it at the time, they're not an authority on that. They simply execute the law as it stands. So always saying, well, call LSP, that's not really doing anything other than bothering them and slowing down their ability to process applications. Okay, if it's an application question, then yes. What I would recommend you have your students do, and I say this in every class, I make sure when we talk about the application process for a few minutes, I make it very clear to them that if you have any question, I don't care what it is, your first point of contact is me. If I can't answer that question, then I will call state police because it's probably some question I've never heard before, which would be rare. So I need the answer. Then I will contact you and give you an answer. I instruct my students, do not even attempt to contact state police unless it's been at least 120 days. Then you can call and say, hey, I'm checking on my permit. And they're always in a different state of timeline, anywhere from 2 weeks to 5 months. It just depends what's going on in the state. But every time that phone rings in an office, one of those ladies stops working on an application and answers that phone. So the more we call up there with stuff that could be collectively answered by our group of instructors that already have fielded these questions, so we already got the information from them, you're just repeating the process and slowing the entire process down. So understand their role is for the most part administrative. At our annual meet and greets, we typically have a representative. Last year it was the sergeant. This year hopefully it'll be the new sergeant and their office manager, their main lady up there. They come up and answer any questions. And 8 out of 10 questions are the same questions that were asked last year, because those people didn't bother to ask the group of instructors that already know this information. It's not like the hearing it from state police is any different. Okay. So just keep that in mind, that be really selective with the things you contact state police about and what your expectations of them are. Well, what's the deal? Can I carry out parades or not? Not going to get an answer from LSP. Okay, that's not their role to interpret the law. And that's what that question is, an interpretation of the law. Okay, they would be negligent to give you an answer. That particular trooper would be putting himself in a very awkward situation to give you some type of legal advice like that, because that's just simply not the role of his office, of his building. So just understand the role that LSP plays. And I just want to say, if you haven't interacted with them before yet, I don't have a whole lot of nice things to say about government entities, but I could tell you after, I don't know, almost 10 years of dealing with this stuff, there is not another office in state government that I've seen that works as hard as the people at the CHP office. And what's really unique about them is most places you kind of get they try to give you a no. They try to get you out of their way. These people go above and beyond and go to the next step to try to make things work. I have never not had something resolved by them in a positive way. I've never felt like they were dismissing me. I've had great relationships with the last 3 or 4 sergeants that have been in charge. They're very open to our group. They're very open to instructor feedback. And that's why we partner with them, because we want to do everything we can as instructors to make their job as easy as possible so that our students get their permits as quickly as possible. So just understand the role that LSP plays. Again, if you have any questions, that Facebook group, Louisiana CHP Instructors, you can Facebook me, Brandon LaBeouf, or at NOLATAC or St. Bernard Indoor Shooting Center, or you can find me all over the internet. Say, hey, I can't find a group. We'll validate that you're an LSP instructor and put you in the group. And that will be your #1 resource for 99% of the questions. And what we do is, if there's a question that through discussion we realize we really don't have an answer, then generally me or one of the other guys will take the lead, and one person will contact state police so that there's not 30 instructors doing it. And we try to be really economic and efficient with the time we spend with them. So thank you. If you have any questions, you know where to find me. As always, be vigilant, be prepared. Y'all stay safe.